Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Nerds Around. Your host, Sebastian. Yeah, the quarantine edition. I'm your host, Sebastian.
It's your boy, Law.
And your boy, Tone, from across the hall.
And we have today with us the amazing...
Oh, hey, man, it's Adrian.
We have Adrian from Adrian Has Issues, podcaster. Awesome, good. What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm doing okay. Live my best quarantine life.
So, Adrian, tell our viewers about you, what you, about your podcast, your history. Give us a 411.
Well, Adrian Has Issues is a pop culture podcast talking about everything from comics to movies, video games. And the idea of it is that we watch movies, we read comics, we consume all this pop culture all day, every day. And one day I just asked myself, what do I know about the people who make them? So that's the idea, is just sitting down with different creators, whether they're published or whether they're just starting out, and basically just getting their stories, because I've always learned that the best way to get engaged in art is to know as much as you can about the artist themselves. But gosh, it's been about 5 years now. Started in 2015, and we've been going strong since. It's been tough.
You've got to be in the upper hundreds of episodes.
No, not exactly. Well, yes, only because I did something of a reboot at one point, but
okay.
Not even counting the other show, it's definitely in the other hundreds, because I originally did it with a buddy of mine, Atlas. It was Adrian Atlas Have Issues.
Okay.
Kind of did like a Wham thing. I figured I was George Michael. I'm like, I'm joking. Atlas, I love you, buddy, if you're listening.
Oh, man.
It's been a long ride, and I don't know why I even decided to do it, but it has been an absolute blessing. So I really enjoy it. I enjoy, of course, talking to other podcasters and creators, and I could not have picked a better career, hobby, I don't know what you want to call it at this point. Life.
So when the lines are blurred, it's always a good thing.
Exactly. I don't even know anymore, because every time someone says hobby, I'm like, no, trust me.
After you put a certain amount of work in, it can't be a hobby anymore.
You've moved past hobbyist at this point. It's just like your thing. It's what you do.
But, it's just a lot of fun, and I just love making connections with people, and I just love getting to know people's stories and why they choose to do this, because you guys know this. Whether it be podcasting, comics, art, it's like none of the stuff is easy.
And it's funny you mentioned connections and everything, too, because we met at creator Aftercon.
Yep. How
did you get involved with those guys?
So this is actually kind of a cool story. You guys remember Special Edition NYC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arguably, for my money, I feel like it was the better part of New York Comic Con. They only did it for 2 years, and it's a shame, because real quick, I think it was cool that they had, someone like Chris Claremont, like next to someone who just started out maybe a couple months prior, and like the level field was just even. It was just creators. There was no top tier, lower tier, mid tier. Everybody was just in the same room, same space, just vibing out. So I had met a guy, Victor Dandridge. Shout out to Victor, by the way. I met him at the first Special Edition. I just picked up a copy of Southern Bastards from Jason Latour. Walk over to his booth, and he's dressed up in like a suit and a vest. And I'm like, this guy is way too dressed up to be at a convention. I go to say hi to him, and he stops me. And he's looking at my books, and he's like, you just picked up Southern Bastards, right? Yes. And long story short, he turns me away from his booth. He's like, you're going to like that book so much, I will turn away a potential sale. Go back and buy the other issues, then come back and chat. So talking to him, yeah, like he just believed in his soul. And honestly, he's right. That book's amazing. So we got to talking, of course, and being online. He was on, I think it was episode 4 or 5 of Adrian Has Issues, like really early on. So next year, Special Edition, he's doing a panel. And after the panel, my girlfriend and partner, Eileen, and I, we were talking to him. And it was really cool, because we're literally sitting at Special Edition after panel, sitting in the chairs, eating like gummy worms or something, just whatever I had in my bag. So we're just catching up, shooting the breeze. And he hands me a card. And he says to me, you should check this thing out. I think you'd like this. Some guys in know Ronin. It's called Creator Aftercon. And I'm like, it's like a networking event. And I'm thinking to myself, like, and I actually said this out loud, I was like, networking events are usually for, like, professionals, like these are for like, I'm not that person, this is for somebody else. And he's like, well, let me ask you a quick question. And he's like, you have a podcast, right? And he's like, yes. You talk to comic creators? And he's like, yes. Then you're a part of the comic book industry. You should go. And those words, and I know this sounds like really like cliche and almost like I scripted this, but those words made everything clear to me, because no one just ever said, hey, you deal with this stuff, so therefore you're a part of this world. It wasn't about breaking in or trying to like finagle the thing. It was just, you make these connections, you should go. This is where people can make those connections. And that was, I didn't remember what year it was that second special edition, but I went, and the rest is history. It was actually at a different event. It wasn't even at Twins Pub. But year after year, I really became good friends with them, became friends with Sebastian, and just met people who were just chill. Like, there wasn't all this pressure. You're just there at a bar, get some drink, get some food, let people know what you're about, and basically just meeting as many people. And it was such a good time. And I'll never forget, someone just basically being like, I accept you, and your work is valid, and you should definitely be a part of this. And ever since then, everything has just been kind of like just in that mind frame of you're worth it. And I love the events. And again, talking to Sebastian and actually Law here, we actually met at was Imbion Con, if I'm not mistaken.
Con. It was funny because you show us so much love to the Imbion fan base, and because I get to run the social media, I'm like, yo, who is this Adrian dude? Who is this Adrian dude? And then I don't know if someone mentioned it to me or I just happened to know, but I was like, yo, your Adrian has issues, right? And you were like, yeah. I was like, dude, thanks for all the love, because you definitely you support so heavy, man. And I super appreciate it.
Anytime. And it scared me because, again, just doing this, I just do it because I just enjoy it. I'm not really thinking about, I'm that Adrian Has Issues guy. So someone was like, oh, you're that Adrian Has Issues. I'm like, wait, how do you know me? And I was so.
But no, I notice it though when you walk into a room that has to deal with indie creators and all that. And one of the things I definitely got the experience of knowing, and so you do, was when you got to host a panel at Twins Pub at Creative Aftercon for comics. So you definitely you have that life. It's like you're a staple there. You're a staple with doing the podcast with the covers that you've done with people too, and you bring. I'm gonna say it. Voice to the voiceless. You definitely give that out there, and
I appreciate that. That means a lot. And it said you guys, you roll real deep as far as with creators as well, and that is a great compliment. And believe me, I don't take that lightly. I greatly appreciate that, and you guys do amazing work as well. And
appreciate it.
It's not easy, trust me. And long before any of this was going on, it was still hard because. That joke, everybody has a podcast, everybody has a show, everybody's trying to network, but yet you've made your own little niche and you've made your place, and you didn't necessarily have to wait for anybody's permission to do it. It's look, you got a good team. I know a guy who's good with audio, got a guy who's good with video. I know some artists. Let's just go. Why not?
But what are some of your goals for the podcast? That's what I want to hear. What are you some have you reached some goals? What are some future goals? What are you looking to do in terms of the show?
I wanted to do more in-person stuff, but I also know that it's tough because a lot of people that I talk to are on the other side of the country in other states,
right.
Time zones that I still am now just figuring out what mountain time is. So, it's better in my camp. But I was really wanting to do more in-person shows because there is something about connections and there's something about doing so, in person, getting those reactions. And that was what made those early shows with Atlas so much fun, is because most of the time we spent making each other laugh, and literally just saying stuff to just watch him. Most of the things that we laugh at on this show, no one saw. But I liked that connection. But I think that's sort of the irony of now we're in a situation where being next to someone is actually possibly the worst idea. And it's man, this was going to be the year, and there were some plans to do some in-person shows and even a couple of live tapings, and that was really the big thing for the next show, is to take the audience they have and take that next step and just sort of actually have like a platform and a place where we can see these things in real time, because I think that's something that's important. Like, you're making connections, and what better way to do that than to do that face to face with, either whether it be one-on-one or with a group of people. And believe me, I'm not trying to complain in the least bit, but obviously that we'll have to take a sidestep. But I think that was basically it, was doing more of those. But like long-term goals, basically, I just want to be able to keep doing what I'm doing. Obviously with a little bit more ease, because anyone who thinks that podcasting full time is easy, it is not. You miss the pulling out no hair, but like stressing out at 3 a.m., stuff like that. But I just want to basically reach as many people as I possibly can, and organically,
right? Just
by I guess hard work and dedication, and
deep. Deep stuff.
Is there plans for like different formats, or is it going to stick to the same format but just have different options of viewing? And
we did kick around the idea of doing a video. I just have to get used to actually like seeing my face and having people see it, and because I grew up listening to the radio. I wanted to be a DJ, so it's like I was so comfortable. It took me a while just to get used to hearing my own voice. God, and most of the editing, it's let's not stop and delete this just because your voice made that weird inflection that you don't like.
Right.
Because other people are like, I didn't hear it. And I'm like, well, good.
Yeah.
But no, I would definitely love to do more video content. And I think that would be really fun. And especially in a world where, especially now, because now we're so visually oriented.
This remote thing it's different.
It is different.
It is different, because like our whole vibe has just been, person to person. And we haven't done any full remotes until we were forced to do remotes. And I'm sure like you kind of grew into doing remotes because you're saying you've spoken to people across the coast and different time zones and everything. So like, this pandemic happening, like you're just kind of you just still feel like you're doing what you're used to. Just, some people have more time now because they're not able to do some stuff.